Hello folks, it's Rachel Archelaus, and we are deep into the discussion of why we limit love in our lives. And we've covered ideas like it's because of conditioning. We've also covered the guilt aspect of what it's like to have that love of a twin flame or soulmate illuminate while we're in a relationship. Now I really want to talk about how to deal with it now in your life if you're wanting to not limit yourself, if you're wanting to leave the conventional monogamy model. Now, I have an interesting situation in that I was married and we had a very traditional monogamous relationship. I was with that person for 10 years. And then in my late 20s, I got divorced and I entered into a few open relationships. So I got to experience what it was like to date multiple people at the same time, but also to have a pretty steady relationship with one person and to also involve other partners from time to time. I also had a relationship where I had many sexual partners at once with that person. So we would have other people join us occasionally in the bedroom. And all of those were kind of experiments. I fell into them naturally. I didn't try to create any of them on purpose, but I really found a lot of joy in having that more open feel. I definitely loved and respected my partners, and I loved that they were having more experiences when I wasn't there. I tended not to feel jealousy at all. You never know how you're really going to react until you try it out, and I really didn't feel jealous. In fact, it was quite the opposite. I enjoyed talking about whoever I was with about their other encounters and who they were seeing and who they were going out with that night, and I found it to be very, very fun. The other thing that was part of that is that I got to maintain my individuality. In none of those cases did I feel like I was merging with another person. I felt like I maintained myself and they maintained their selves, and we got to have our own lives and then come together when it was mutually beneficial. And I really did enjoy that a lot. And then I entered into a monogamous relationship with a man who is a very wonderful guy. I'm still with him. And over the years, I found that I did lose myself quite a bit in the relationship, and I was struggling to kind of bring myself back to life. Now, it wasn't anything malicious happening. I did it of my own accord. We called ourselves, like, we were in the Velcro stage for a really long time, which was beautiful, and I felt very supported. But after a while, I did feel like, okay, a lot of me is gone. I'm not fully respecting the whole of myself. I'm a very spiritual person, if you want to call it that. I'm very connected to the big world of energy and multiple dimensions, and I do a lot of work in that area, and my partner doesn't. And so I was finding myself to be downplaying that part of my life when we were together. And since we were together all the time, it really took a toll on my personal expression. So if you find yourself downplaying part of you around your partner, this is something to really think about. One of my core values has to be truth. I always want to live my truth. I want to be growing and evolving as a human being. And I got to kind of a stuck point in my relationship where I didn't feel like that was happening anymore. And so for a very long time, almost an entire year, I had this notion in my head that maybe I'd outgrown the relationship. Yet, I wasn't wanting to leave. I'm very much in love with my partner. He's very much a wonderful guy. And so I had this weird thing going on inside of me for a while where I had this weird feeling like I needed more, but I also had this feeling like I didn't want anything to change. And so after a year, I decided that what I really, really wanted was for me to be a human being, for him to be a human being, and just like before, if we want to be together, and if we see other opportunities, that we're able to pursue that. So basically, being in an open relationship But even that felt a little limiting. I just want to be a sovereign human being and, not confined by a contract such as monogamy or a committed relationship. I'm still absolutely in love with and devoted to my partner, but I just needed that prison to come off. It just wasn't the truth of me anymore. And that commitment to my truth absolutely had to trump my commitment to anything outside of me. And so I decided to have a conversation with my partner about it. And it was not an easy thing to do, trust me, it was horribly hard. But he is such a wonderful guy that he went along and we talked about it and kind of got through it and decided to continue together in the new way. So I have to say, it's been 2 or 3 months since we've had our conversation, and neither of us has gone outside of the relationship for anything physical. So just because I had this desire to be open and to not be confined by some kind of relationship contract doesn't mean that I needed to be with another person in order to feel whole. It was simply about me not feeling like I was confined by someone else's rules. That's not to say that going outside for physical means is bad. It's not. I used to do it in my old relationships and it was perfectly wonderful. But you know what kind of relationship you desire or are curious about or need. And it can look different to any other relationship you've ever had or seen or have dreamed of. So it's really important for you to find your own truth and to be okay just calling it an experiment. You're not supposed to figure everything out all at once. You're supposed to grow incrementally. But if you're not feeling in total alignment with your current relationship, you might want to have a talk with your partner about it just so you can get it out there. I know for me, waiting that year was like complete torture. It made me feel more separate from my partner, and it didn't help anybody. So having the conversation, being willing to let it all go, because you don't know how your partner is going to take it, and that is scary, but being willing to put everything on the line for your own truth will only serve you for the better. Because if you think about it, the world is changing and evolving so rapidly right now, you can't really judge what your partner is going to do. If I had to guess what my partner was going to do, I would have said there's no way he would have been open to that. And, a lot of people who knew him felt the same way. But if he or she loves you like they should, if you're in that kind of relationship with them, then they'll at least listen and be willing to try to work it out with you. Because remember, our society is the only thing that has put a barrier on who we can and can't love. And so if you're feeling like that's not really your truth, then it's really worth it to talk about it. So I hope this has inspired you in some way to maybe rethink love or how much love you're allowed to have, because it's such a worthwhile endeavor to remove that cap, right? If it's so beneficial to us and our creativity and our impact and our development, then it's definitely worth re-looking at as an adult, as an evolving being. So if you have any questions or any comments, do please leave them for me. I really love your suggestions for what videos to make, and I love your insights. So please do, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And if you've enjoyed this series, you can give it a thumbs up, and that way I'll know to make more like this. Lots of love from me, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to intuitive art and you've never done it with me, go to intuitiveartacademy.com for your free class. You'll learn how to have a conversation with your higher self in 3 easy steps. That's intuitiveartacademy.com. And if you're already a pro or you've done the free class and you want to learn more about creating abundance from your purpose, go to workyourpurpose.com and you'll watch a free video series all about what it takes to create a purposeful income from doing what you love. All right, enjoy, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.